Turn on some extra power for your game with the Dunlop FX 500. The FX 500 is an ideal racket for players looking for power and spin. With this 2025 update, Dunlop has new Power Boost Plus frame geometry that increases the beam width in specific locations for added stability and a boost in power. Additionally, innovative Power Wave grommets stiffen the center of the string bed for a better feel and even more pop. The racket's sub-325 swing weight makes it a speedy racket, perfect for aggressive, intermediate to advanced level players. I've been lucky enough to play test the last 2 generations of the FX 500, so I had a pretty good idea what to expect with this update. The specs are right where I like them, so it's a really easy transition to me. I was able to go straight to the court and feel very comfortable. Now, when it came to ground strokes, I found easy power and easy depth. I was really able to be aggressive, and I also liked the spin there. I like to mix in that spin when I'm hitting short angled ground strokes, or if I was hitting and being really aggressive, I was using that spin to make sure my shots were dropping inside the baseline. There was sometimes if I was too aggressive, it was a little easy to overhit, so just subconsciously was making sure I was adding that little bit extra spin. Now, when I approached the net, I really liked how quick the racket felt in my hands, and I found for the most part I was punching volleys deep to end the point. I had a really hard time deciding what I liked better between serves and returns. For me, serves, I was able to get nice pace on the ball, really could hit that flat first serve, and then had that access to spin to hit some great kick serves outside of my opponent's strike zone. And on returns, really was able to be aggressive, just kind of like with ground strokes, so needed to make sure I was adding just a little bit of extra spin to make sure I wasn't overhitting. Now, compared to the previous generation, I found it to play pretty similar, maybe a slightly bit more power and a little bit change in feel. But overall, I think fans of previous generations will have no problems transitioning. And I think it's also great for players who are looking to demo a racket with a little bit extra power and spin.
If you've been looking to add some firepower to your game, you're definitely going to find it in this FX 500. For me, it took a little bit of getting used to it and adjusting my game to the racket because of the added power that I was not used to from my own racket. Luckily though, this racket does have great access to spin. The 16x19 string pattern is nice and open, and it really was needed to help kind of reel in some of that power and help my shots land into the court. I also found this racket to be perfectly maneuverable. It was whippy enough for me that I didn't feel like it was sluggish at all. I could still generate the racket head speed that I wanted, but at the same time, it wasn't too, the swing wasn't too low where the stability was compromised. I still felt like the racket was pretty stable, and it definitely had enough power to put away shots easily. Really the one downside for me here is the depth control. Because of all that extra power, I found like I just couldn't really fully swing out on my shots with fear of my shots would be landing long, and I really had to just be conscious about adding topspin in order to get my shots to land in. But all in all, I found this racket to be a very solid frame from all areas of the court, really helped me add effortless power on all my shots. And if you're looking for a racket around 300 grams that'll help you add more power, more depth to your game, you'll definitely want to check this one out.
I've hit with some previous FX 500, so I knew what to expect going into this playtest. And right away, I really felt like this is just a solid update to the FX 500 line. Lots of power, easy depth. The string pattern is rather open, so it was actually easy to generate topspin if I could come over the ball correctly, and it was actually very much needed. And with my flatter hitting style, I did need to be cognizant of adding topspin on both my forehand and backhand side, because if I really started going after the ball, I was missing long, so that topspin really helped me get the balls inside the lines. I really liked this racket when I was just rallying. It was easy to do. I could rally for seemingly forever, as long as I could get the ball in anyway. It just made getting the ball back into play very easy. Again, because of that easy depth, it was nice when I was also on the defensive. I could get myself back into a good neutral position on the court by hitting a good loopy deep ball to find myself back where I wanted to be on the baseline. At net, I liked the maneuverability and the blend of maneuverability as well as stability. It's good to get into position as well as just felt solid on my volleys and the good power level. I think my favorite shot with this racket was my serve. I was getting lots of power, easy power, more power than I've seen, higher pace numbers than I usually see off my serve, off my normal stroke. Overall, if you're looking for a really powerful racket, this one is a good one to check out. I would compare the power levels to a Yonex V-Core or a Babolat Pure Drive, but maybe this one is even a bit more responsive high up in the string bed.
I was lucky enough to be on the review for the previous version of this racket, so I was super excited to see how the new Dunlop FX 500 compares. I would say the theme of the playtest for me definitely was easy power. Right from the beginning, hitting from the baseline, I noticed just how easy it was to generate easy depth on the court and how easy my balls traveled from the racket. Honestly, power is definitely just very easy to come by. Now, I will say that the racket is very powerful, but unfortunately it is a more kind of launchy power, and I definitely prefer a racket that gives you that nice and controlled power. I did have to be mindful because a few times the racket would be a bit too launchy for me. I do like to play a bit more aggressive and go for some riskier targets, but I did have to dial my shots in and pick some safer targets because I just could not trust this frame enough because, like I said, it did launch on me quite a few times. To my surprise, spin was very easy to come by with this frame. I really enjoyed getting that extra pop on my shot. Even though this is not necessarily a spin-oriented frame, it was just a great surprise to feel how easy it was generated that. I will say that the previous version felt a bit more comfortable for me. This update feels just a little bit more stiff, but you know, there might be players out there who prefer it this way, so it's just a personal preference. The racket is relatively stable, but to make it really fit my game better, I would love to add a few more grams to the racket head just to be able to play my aggressive playing style and to make the racket stable enough for me, because I did feel like it was getting shaky a bit here and there, certain shots. Overall, this is a really fun racket if you're looking for something easy to play with, spin friendly, and that generates easy power. This will definitely be something that you should check out. Thank you for watching. We strung up this Dunlop FX 500 with Dunlop explosive spin to around 52 pounds. For more information on this racket or any others, please go check out Tennis for Us here for tennis only.